Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to my final blog post for this class. So let's just go ahead and get started with my experience as a local mitigation strategy intern at the Division of Emergency Management. So a little bit about the division is the mission is working together to ensure that Florida is prepared to respond to emergencies, recover from them, and mitigate against their impacts. The motto is Semper Gumby, which is Latin for always flexible. The director is Brian Kuhn, who I had the pleasure of meeting and speaking with on several occasions. And it is split up into 4 sections and bureaus for preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation. So these are pretty much the things that I had to work on in my projects. The first one is Appendix L, which is to be included in the State Hazard Mitigation Plan, and it's known as the After Action Report. What I did was compile survey results from every county who had to update their local mitigation strategies. It was basically a way for these counties to express how they completed this, and what critiques they had for the division. And of course, this is going to be used in the future State Hazard Mitigation Plan to be updated next year. The next appendix that I solely worked on is Appendix B for the planning process document. This is where I compiled all the information for SHMPAT meetings, which is the advisory team for the State Hazard Mitigation Plan. They meet quarterly to discuss the update process. So gathering this information for this document is important because it allows the current members to review what happened when and who was involved in the process. This appendix includes the agendas, the meeting minutes, and the attendance. The most challenging part of this whole thing was the state review tool, which is a checklist basically to be used for the division when it comes to approving the local mitigation strategies for each county. So this had to be updated because of something that I mentioned earlier in one reflection about catching something that was missing that was super important. So we had to update that and keep it pretty on the down low, basically. And in addition to that, we had to create an entirely new state review tool for FEMA's requirements for our own state hazard mitigation plan. And it was pretty challenging because the formatting was difficult for the for the Excel spreadsheet because it was basically already a concrete document. And finally, we got the cascading hazards, which will be newly included in the state hazard mitigation plan. It's basically when one hazard would just basically cascade into another. So my challenges were trying not to be overwhelmed with all this information being thrown at me, as well as using this information and applying it to every single assignment, as well as the billions and millions of acronyms that exist within emergency management, and there are even more within each bureau, so putting that all together was a little bit of a struggle. And of course, asking for help was something that I personally struggle with because I didn't want to always keep asking my supervisors questions because I didn't want to seem stupid or seem like I didn't care. But I realized that that's the only way you're going to get your goals accomplished and get the task on track, and just by making sure that you're doing it correctly. So my successes were completing all the assignments, speaking and interacting with more employees, learning more about the ins and outs of mitigation and emergency management, as well as attending as many meetings as possible. Thank you.